back to Kadet Sports TV Game of the Week, Air Academy versus DCC in baseball. I'm Britton Schmidt. I'm a sophomore here at Air Academy. I play baseball, and I've been a part of the Kadet Sports TV program for 2 years.
And I'm Ryan Lozano. I'm a sophomore too. And I've been here for 2 years, just trying to get my first time commentating. This will be great.
And I'm Bailey Williams. I'm a senior here at Air Academy. I play softball, and I'm a guest for the sports broadcasting program.
Yeah, we got a great game here today. Two league rivals. They're both coming off of sweep in their first league series. Air Academy got swept by Cheyenne Mountain in 2 games, and DCC lost both games to Lutheran.
Both teams are starting to look for a bounce back here. It's a great day for baseball here at Air Academy.
Yeah, I got a good matchup here. 2 great teams.
Yeah, Air Academy has a lot of youth here. Almost half of the starting lineup is sophomores, and that helps because they graduated 10 seniors last year, enough to fill an entire roster.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the young talent for us. We have players like Ryder Lopez and Carter Anderson, both been hitting really good this season.
Yeah, I think more than anything, it's probably a rebuilding year, and these young players are going to get the chance to learn about the game and get experience coming for next year and building the program.
Oh, yeah. And now we're going to head down to our sideline reporter, Adriana Gutierrez, with Coach Weigel.
All right, we're almost there. Thanks, guys. I'm Adriana Gutierrez here on Air Academy's sideline for this matchup against the Kadets and DCC Thunder, and I'm here with Air Academy's head coach, Coach Weigel. Coach, how are you today?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for your time. So this year, your team is very diverse age-wise. So how have your senior leaders and your underclassmen alike really had to adjust to continue the Kadet culture this year?
Yeah, it's definitely worked to get the upcoming seniors to step up into that leadership role and have everybody kind of fold into that. But we're getting there, and it's just a work in progress.
Definitely. And Coach, your past 2 matchups have both been against Cheyenne Mountain. And your most previous, you were really able to shorten their lead. So what was working then that you want to continue against DCC today?
We really hit the ball that second game. We were doing a much better job at our approach at the plate, and we made them make plays, and we made them make mistakes.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Coach. Good luck today. Thank you for your time. All right, guys, you heard it. Hopefully the Kadets can get under that ball today and really show some leadership on the team. So Bailey and Schmitty and Ryan, back to you guys.
Hey, thanks, Adriana. Yeah, I think what Coach Mike said about just being able to hit the ball, that's going to be really important today because DCC has a good pitcher in Tristan Lewis. He has less than a 4 ERA this year, so it'll be tough to get those at-bats.
Yeah, just the way that we're looking at him on the field. He's a bigger guy. It looks like he'll have some power under the mound.
Yeah, and hitters making adjustments as we get through the lineup so that they can continue to turn over and get more batters to get the chance to hit.
Just the way that also their hitting is, we're also going to have to worry about pitching in that aspect too. So it'll be a good matchup between 2 pitchers we're going to have Kellen Hallimartin pitching today, and it'll just be a great game.
Yeah, Kellen's a sophomore as well, so just more of that youth coming in. But going back to what Coach Weigel said about the seniors, I think it's super important that they have to step up. Like Logan Sullivan, he's been a big part of this team. He's been a leader this entire year after he committed to Polk State in Florida over the summer, which is a JUCO down there. And right now he's the only senior on Air Academy committed to a college. But I think that's just super important for him and the other seniors, Ford Farrell, Elijah Callahan, Nathan Colbert, to be able to just step up and be in a leadership role.
The way the senior leaders on this team will be affecting the future sophomores coming in and playing here, we definitely have a bright future, I would say. And for this game, just being able to see the sophomore bats will be just fun to watch. And with Callan being a sophomore, it's exciting to see him pitching.
Yeah, I'm super excited for my junior year and my senior year to be able to come up and have a chance at a run at state. Okay. And now we're going to go into our starting lineups for the game. So for DCC, Batting first and playing first, we have Jake Cody. Then batting second, playing center field, we have Jackson Ross. Batting third, playing catcher, Cole Telchik. Batting cleanup at third base, Chase Ashley. Batting fifth, playing right field is Braden Kurtz. Batting sixth, playing DH is Hugh Tarpening. Batting seventh and pitching is Tristan Lewis. Batting eighth, playing shortstop is Jimmy Smith. Batting ninth, playing left field is Mason Schmidt. And then in the flex position, so he won't be hitting, but he will be in the field, is Landon Grimm at second base.
Okay, first off, we'll have Ryder Lopez as our shortstop today, and Sam Lay, he'll be a DH. Then Zach Kelly. Okay, so we have Zach Kelly. No, we have Carter Anderson. He's going to be. And then Logan Sullivan, Trevor Burwell, Jacoby Rebold, Zach Kelly, Gavin Bremenkamp, and Jackson Gore.
Yeah, so let's just go over some highlights of these lineups today. So for DCC, they have a lot of depth. They have a lot of really good players. So catcher Cole Telchik, he's committed to a D1 university, Missouri State. So that'll be somebody to look out for the Kadets to make sure that they can get him out. That's going to be a really important part of the game.
Yeah. We also have, we're going to be having, like, players like Logan Sullivan being cleanup. I'm excited to see that. And Ryder Lopez, I'm thinking he'll be doing pretty good. He's been having a great season so far.
Yeah, and Ryder, as a sophomore, leading off, that's a really big accomplishment. He was on varsity a little bit last year, played shortstop a little bit, but he's really grown this year into being one of the main parts of this team.
Yeah. And even going along with that young talent, having Carter Anderson as the 3-hitter, they're relying on him trying to just be able to get on base, and he's even got a homer on this season, which is just some great play that we've been able to see.
I think looking at just overall, like, looking at all the sophomores that we see, again, that turnover season after graduating all the seniors, and then the role that Jackson and Logan are playing right now as they're the seniors that are starting, and making sure that they're leading these younger players and understanding what it means to be a cadet and how to continue over the program next year when they're gone.
Yeah, and I think that's super important, especially with a new coach and Coach Weigel, and the entire varsity coaching staff is completely new to Air Academy this year. Coach Whiting was the coach for a long time, and then he ended up retiring last year, and we had to bring in completely new coaches, and they've been doing a really good job.
Yeah, they've been doing just a great job trying to coach this young team. First-year coach, first time for these players. We have 7 players on varsity as sophomores, which is just a fun thing to see. Like, and we even have players like brand new starting to play, like Jacoby Rebold. He's only had a few at bats, which is just great to see.
Yeah, and Jacoby was also on varsity as a freshman last year, mostly just as a pinch runner. I think he got 1 or 2 at bats, but he's also been coming up as a newer player on varsity. He got brought down to JV for a couple of games, and I think that really helped him because after he got brought back up, he's been raking. He's been hitting over 500 after he got brought back up to varsity, and he's just been doing really well.
Yeah, I would definitely say, like, also some of the senior leadership on this team has been pretty good too. Like Jackson Gore, he's been hitting 381 on the season, I think.
You know, looking at the season totals, we as a team are batting 305, which is a pretty good number to be batting right now. Started off the season pretty strong. The last couple of games have been pretty tough, so they're hoping to come back in this game and get a win.
And like for our hitting, it's been pretty good. We've been doing good on getting runs batted in, RBIs. Having with players like Carter Anderson playing at number 3, or he's the 3rd guy in the lineup, and he's got 14 RBIs this season with only like 13 hits, which has just been fun to see him play.
Yeah, he's a new player to this team as well. He moved here a day before the baseball season started, a day before tryouts from Montana, and he's been a super important part of this team. He's been rock solid in center field and on the mound and at the plate. He's just been really great to have on this team.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned RBIs and being able to hit runners in, and I think that's going to be important today as we face this tough pitcher. Is if we get a runner on, we got to be able to hit him in so we can get those runs.
Yeah. Having their pitcher in Tristan Lewis, he's just been an ace on this season as a sophomore. Junior.
Yeah, he's been their best pitcher this season. Has a 3.92 ERA, which for high school is very good because it's a lot easier to score runs at the high school level.
Yeah, especially with like shorter fences. That's something that we've seen for like DCC. They have a shorter fence. I think they have 290, so we'll have to see how that translates in challenging them from 290 at the fence to 330.
Yeah, and you have some predictions, right, Ryan?
Yeah. My predictions are
Ryan's buy-ins?
Ryan's buy-ins, yeah. I have Ryder Lopez to have a leadoff hit. Kellen Martin with 3 strikeouts today. Chase Ashley, I have him for DCC having 2 RBIs. And Tristan Lewis for DCC, I'd say 6 strikeouts today. And I got the score prediction. Sadly, DCC wins 15-7.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a really tough game for the Kadets as they do have inverse records. The Kadets have a 3-7 record and DCC has a 7-3 record, but I think it's definitely manageable with the pitching we have today. And then if we can get their first pitcher out of the game early, I think that'll be super important for just getting deeper into their rotation.
Yeah, definitely. Like just trying to be able to fight off their pitching will be a challenge, but we'll have to see how that translates to this game.
I think also facing good hitting from DCC, when we get the chance to get an out on defense, we got to make sure that our defense is clean and that we're making minimal to no errors during the game.
Yeah, cutting down on errors is going to be super important. There have been a couple guys on Air Academy that have struggled a little bit with errors, but this season it has been pretty clean. There haven't been a lot of games with a lot of errors.
Yeah, just the fielding percentage you need to see. That's one thing you always got to watch out for in games, is make sure your guys can be able to get to the ball. And it's best as long as we keep their base running to a limit and just lock in on hitting.
Yeah, and we see the players warming up now as this game's about to start. So Kellen Hale-Martin on the mound, Gavin Bremenkamp behind the plate. I think that's going to be super important, this battery, just to have them locked in and just knowing each other so that they can get this good DCC hitting out.
I think looking at the weather just a little bit, we see not much sun in the sky, so that shouldn't be a too big problem for the outfielders, but we do have a little bit of wind, so being able to track the ball and keep their feet moving so that the ball doesn't move away from them with the wind.
Yeah, and we have Jake Cody leading off for DCC as he tries to get them started.
Yeah. Jake Cody, it's exciting to see him play and see how our pitcher will pitch against him.
And hits him on the first pitch of the game. And that's not a great start for Hale Martin and the Kadets. So immediately puts a runner on first after the first pitch of the game. And now up to bat, Jackson Ross.
As you see Jackson Ross's style of play for DCC, it's been more of just heavy hitting, I would say. Like, for Jackson, he has a 448 average on the season.
Yeah, so 1-0 count to Ross. Hale Martin is in the stretch. And ball gets away from Bremenkamp, but Cody does not advance.
It's good to be able to see that. Just that our pitching's able to be getting these strikes on.
And the 2-0 count. Outside. So Hale Martin has yet to throw a strike this game, as he is already down 3-0 on the second hitter of the game. Needs to get a strike here. Pitch. And he gets it.
And there we go.
So 3-1 count on Ross with a runner on first and nobody out in the top of the first here.
As you see from Ross, he's one of the guys I was talking about earlier with RBIs, so that's what we'll have to look out
Swing.
for.
And foul. He was very early on that pitch. He got way out in front of that. And full count now as Hale Martin's battling back.
It's great to see this little tiny comeback here, and here's the pitch.
Chopper. Foul again. Almost fair.
What a fight from Ross here.
Yeah, this has been a good at bat. 6 pitches. Hale Martin's been battling back from down 3-0.
He's just looking to get the hit. He's hungry for it, as you can
The
see.
pitch. Low. And the runner was going. He'll be standing up on second.
That'll be a walk there.
So first 2 runners of the game are on for DCC. Not the best start for the Kadets. Probably not the one they wanted.
We'll have to look at how Hale Martin's style of play might change a little bit after these last 2 at-bats. Just hoping for some strikeouts here.
Yeah, Hale Martin's checking the runner.
See as Telchik goes up to bat.
And gets
And
by
that one gets
Bremenkamp
by.
again. Runner on third is going. There's nobody covering the plate, so he will be in there standing up. And the first run of the game goes to DCC.
Just not a good look for Air Academy so far. Just losing the ball there. We'll have
Yeah.
to see how we do a comeback on that.
Yeah, it looks like somebody might have gotten injured a little bit as the pitching coach and the trainer are both out. It might have been Hale Martin because he hasn't been throwing a lot of strikes. And Bremenkamp hasn't really been blocking those low pitches.
It's just doesn't seem great. Hope his arm is okay right now, but
Yeah, he has had a couple of injuries earlier this season. He was unable to pitch for a week, hurting his arm, and he will be done for the day after 2 batters. And Ford Farrell is in now to pitch. He's a senior. He's thrown the most innings on this team. So we'll see how he does. And he gets as many pitches as he wants to warm up because he was called in for an injury.
yeah. I'm excited to see Ford Farrell's style of play as a senior leader on this team.
You know, coming in after 2 walks and a runner already scored is hard and tough, but we're going to see Ford's mental toughness right here and see if he can help the Kadets and get him out of this inning.
Yeah, I think it's super important that he limits the damage here, doesn't let DCC get that many runs, just trying to keep that runner on third from scoring, make sure nobody else can score. I think that's going to be super important to set the tone for the rest of this game.
Yeah, definitely. Just the way Ford's pitching so far, it's been looking pretty good, and just the mental challenge for him after seeing those 2 walks will be a little tough, but it's always just keep the bounce back mindset.
It's still early in the game, so one run won't affect them yet, but they just got to, again, minimize the damage.
Yeah, and Farrell can do that. He has a very good curveball. Yeah, and Bailey, you played softball. How did your season go?
Right, we were in sort of the same position as the baseball team is 2 years ago, so my junior year, where we lost a bunch of seniors. And so last year was our rebuilding year, and this year we probably completely surprised ourselves, and we ended up in the top 8 in the state and tournament. And it's just great to see the 4 seniors that we had this year come together to help bring the team to the state tournament, because we hadn't been since 2020, so that was really exciting to see. So this is probably one of the rebuilding years for the Air Academy baseball team, but so next year they should be looking better with, it'll be 10 juniors then instead of the sophomores.
Yeah, you guys looked really good when we live streamed your game. And you were kind of a leader on that team too, because you were the top pitcher. How did you navigate that?
Right, so we had a lot of the same players as we did the year before, and it was Coach Layden's second year, but we brought in a new coach, Coach Vega, and we had 2 younger freshmen that both were starting as freshmen, which was huge, and just making sure that they felt that they were welcome, that they were valued, and bringing them in and showing them what it means to be a Kadet was important, and working with my other seniors, Rhea and Radu and Aaron, to figure out how we wanted to lead the team, and just, fighting for every at-bat and every pitch and wanting to win every game.
Yeah, that's really important. And it looks like Farrell will get 1 or 2 more pitches, and then we'll be back in this game.
It's exciting to be able to see Farrell again, as he's got about 7 appearances and an 11.3 ERA so far on the season. And we'll have to see how he pitches against this strong DCC lineup.
Yeah, so up to bat now we have Cole Telchik with a 1-0 count that he inherited from Kellen Hale Martin.
Runner in scoring position here.
And his first pitch is a ball outside. So not a great start for Farrell, but he can still battle back, get this guy out.
Yeah.
And the pitch. Ripped down the left field line, foul.
Just barely there. He's really fighting for this run here, trying to get the runner on third batted in, Jackson Ross.
Yeah, that was a good curveball there by Farrell. He was just early on that. And the 2-1 pitch. Fastball inside. So 3-1 count now. Farrell's trying not to walk him. And from the stretch. High, ball 4. So another walk there for DCCs. That's their second of the game in 3 batters.
We'll have to see how Ford Farrell bounces back after that. It's always a little bit hard trying to get your jitters out when you're just starting to pitch.
Yeah, and DCC is going to have a courtesy runner in for Telchik. That's number 4, Brecken Ramsey. So lefty on lefty matchup now. Checks the runner. And that's into right field. That'll score 1. Ramsey's on his way to third. And he's in there. And Ashley does not advance from first. So RBI single there for Ashley to put DCC up 2-0.
Just starting to look like what we expected. Maybe DCC starting to take more control of this game. Chase Ashley, their cleanup hitter, getting that RBI is going to be important on the game for them. And their style play. Now we have Brandon Kurtz up to bat.
And first pitch is swung on and missed. That's a good pitch there by Farrell to just get ahead in the count. And the 0-1 pitch. Great curveball there by Farrell to put him up 0-2 on Kurtz here.
Yeah.
You see that just late break on that.
Kurtz is a pretty strong hitter on this season so far.
And outside, so ball 1.
So Farrell's gonna have to definitely try to combat how just this DCC lineup, how they play and their hitting. It's been very strong on this season.
And the 1-2 pitch. Outside. 2-2 now for Kurtz. So he's trying to battle back into this count after being down 0-2.
One thing we're definitely going to have to worry about is their slugging, too. They've got about 14 home runs.
And runner was going up from first, but it gets by Bremenkamp anyway. So second and third now for DCC. And full count on Kurtz now. If he walks in here, that would load the bases for Hugh Turpinning. So really don't want to do that if you're Farrell.
Yeah. Just the way the play is.
And ball 4 outside.
Ball.
So loads the bases now. Still nobody out. DCC scored 2 runs in this inning.
And now we have batter Hugh Tappering, and he's just been kind of a beast. He has a 500 average right now.
Strike 1 there from Farrell. That's a good pitch on the inside corner.
Getting up in the count is really going to help Ford here because then he can work with more pitches versus being behind, which is what we saw happen in the earlier batters.
Yeah, and a ball there. So 1-1 count. And this is DCC's 3rd lefty in a row. They have a lot of left-handed batters, which is interesting because Air Academy brought Farrell in. And
Yeah.
there's a great pitch by Farrell there. So 1-2 count on Tarpening.
It's really interesting to see how they're just going to combat between these 3 lefties, and will they have righties up next?
That just missed up there by Farrell, so 2-2 count here. That was a great pitch there. Swung on down the right field line. That's going to score at least 2, maybe 3. Rebold gets it in. And there's a 2 RBI double there for Tarpening to put DCC up 4-0.
Yeah, that's just definitely a big play for them. And now they even have Tristan Lewis up, or their junior. He's only had a few at-bats on the season, but he has a 750 average right now, which is really good for high school ball.
Yeah, that's a pretty small sample size, so not a lot can be taken from that. And he pops it up. That is going to drop. No Air Academy player wanted to get there. And Anderson gets the ball into home plate.
And that will send in another run. We're just seeing their bats flying off today so far for DCC. Our pitching is definitely going to need to recover from that.
Yeah, there's just been a lot of miscues for the Cadets. You had Hale Martin, who had to get taken out of the game because of an injury, and then nobody in the outfield called that. Ryder Lopez tried to get there, but playing shortstop, it's really hard to get to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of right in the middle of those 3 fielders, maybe a little bit of sun in their way, so just kind of unfortunate for the Cadets.
And another first pitch strike there by Farrell. He's been really good at that, but he hasn't been able to capitalize on that later in the counts. He's been getting them back to full counts.
If you could see right now, the infielders are kind of moved in a little bit, so they might be expecting
Outside.
Jimmy Smith to be hitting maybe even a bunt or just a shorter hit.
They just want, even if it's hard hit, they want to get the out at home just to make sure DCC can't score anymore. And the 1-1. Swung on, lifted up, and that might be down. And it is.
Dang.
Another bloop hit for the Thunder there. So just a lot of bloop hits.
Yeah.
DCC hasn't really connected on a lot of balls today.
They're just kind of getting lucky, but just they're placing the ball perfectly in the field to where Air Academy's fielders are not able to get there.
Yeah, and that puts DCC up 6-0 with no outs here in the top of the first.
Now we have Mason Schmidt up to bat.
So Farrell has runners on first and third, checks both of them, and the pitch. Swung on, and
Ooh.
a
Just
good
barely
stop
dropped.
there by Gore. That's a really great play to get in front of that and just even get a glove on that.
And
That was
then
a hard hit ball.
knowing to get the
Yeah.
lead runner and prevent more runs from scoring later in this inning.
Yeah, just great baseball IQ there.
Yeah. And it was really smart of him to throw straight to second instead of try to get on first, because just better to keep them from having runners be able to score easier. Easily. That one's fouled
Yeah,
off right
so
there.
Air Academy got their first out of the inning, and DCC is now up 7-0. And Jake Cody is back up to bat, so DCC has rolled through their lineup once already. And the runner goes, no throw from Bremenkamp, so that'll be a stolen base for Schmidt.
As you can see, just the lefty lineup, it's really surprising they put Ford Farrell in, but that's like our fourth or fifth lefty we've seen today, and that's
To center, and that's going to get behind Anderson. That'll be at least a double. He's going 3,
there's a run in,
and he
Stand up
stops
Got it.
there.
triple.
stopped at third.
I don't know about that decision there by Anderson in center field. I don't think he was going to get to it even if he had dived. I think it's smarter to get around the ball and just make sure you stop that and hold him to a double.
I agree, especially in the position that they're in, already having 7 runs have scored, and so I think just stopping the ball and making sure that they can get the ball in was probably the smarter decision he could have made.
Yeah, so that'll be another RBI there for DCC as that puts him up 8-0. So Jackson Ross up now for his second at bat. He walked the first time. Swung on, and he was very early on that pitch.
It's interesting to me that they're able to see 2 different pitchers so far on the game. Jackson Ross, well, to see his hitting style.
Swings, hard hit liner through the hole between third and short. That's going to go all the way to the fence, and he's going for 3. And the ball takes a weird hop in the outfield. He's going for,
He's going for it.
and he's going to get there.
Just
So-
DCC is tearing up our pitching today.
Gets all the way home on a ball that could have maybe gotten caught in the infield if Lopez had been playing a little bit more to his right.
I think it's challenging because the middles are playing in because they're trying to stop the run, but then a ball gets smoked at them and it's harder to stop. So it's the trade-off you take.
Yeah. Another factor we've seen today is kind of like the weather. It's harder to pitch in colder weather, low 50s today so far, and see how Ford deals with it.
So high, so 1-1 count. DCC's already scored 10 runs in this inning and the Kadets have only gotten 1 out.
And there's another big hit for, there's Cole, I believe.
Cole Telchik, yeah.
Cole Telchik, just tearing up Ford Farrell today.
I do see why he's going D1. That was a nice swing there. So back to the 3 lefties in a row. This is usually important because they can see the ball better out of a right-handed pitcher's hand, but since Ford Farrell's pitching, it's the opposite effect. That was a close pitch, but a ball.
So we could see Chase Ashley here. Might be expecting another hit here, so fielders see backing them up a little bit. They're just getting ready for another infield hit.
So outside.
Seems so far to me that we've not had a break in their lineups at all. So
Yeah, they have a really deep lineup. And monster hack there on 3-0. So that'll bring the count to 3-1.
he was looking to send that one to the moon there. There's Chase Ashley. He's got no homers on the season, but he's a good hitter.
And high.
Ooh.
I don't think Bremenkamp realized that that was ball 4 there. So he tried to backpick the guy at first.
Now at bat number 8.
So it'll be first and second for DCC as the Kadets just look to get 2 more outs and get out of this nightmare inning.
Yeah. We see another lefty up to bat in Braden Kurtz. This is his second appearance. He's batting 5 in the lineup. Just crazy to see.
And low. That was Farrell's 31st pitch of the inning after Harold Martin had already thrown 15. So the Kadets have combined for almost 50 pitches this inning.
Wow.
Another big swing there by DCC.
All right, now one of our only things is just try to get them swinging. If you throw it down the middle, it feels like every other pitch is a hit.
Oh,
And
that's
there's another.
ripped. And
And
that
that
one-hops
gets
the
down.
fence. So Anderson gets it in quick. And the ball just goes to no man's land. So another big hit for DCC.
Next at bat number
One of the hardest things for a pitcher is when the entire lineup can hit really well, and that's what we're seeing here from DCC. So Ford's got to stay mentally tough here and just fight to get these last 2 outs.
Yeah, you just have no breaks where you have somebody that you know you can get out.
Like even Hugh Taberning up to bat right here. Even though he's got a lower
First strike.
average, he's everybody's getting hit every single play. It seems like we just need Ford to stay mentally focused.
And grounded into the hole between first and second. Just bad luck there for the Kadets. And that'll score 2.
Yeah, there's 2 more runs batted in. This is starting to look as just a big blowout here,
now at bat
and
number 10. Tristan.
it's not great to see for Ford, but
Yeah, Coach Collins is going to go talk to him for a little bit, try to get him to settle down and just get these last 2 outs.
I mean, it's hard too because he had the 2 high balls in the beginning of the inning that just happened to hit holes, and that's tough because it's not solid contact, but there still means runners on because it's just where no one is.
Yeah, as a pitcher, you feel like you made a good pitch. You should have gotten that guy out, and he's
Mhm.
standing on first or second base.
Right.
yeah. It's definitely the lefty on lefty matchups that we're seeing might be looking as a bit of a mistake to see, where I wouldn't be surprised so far if we were to take Ford Farrell out, but all we need is these 2 more outs and we should be good.
Yeah, so the pitcher Tristan Lewis is up again for his second time of the inning facing Ford Farrell, and he's the 7 hitter. So DCC's gone through their lineup almost twice in 1 inning. The pitch. Outside.
Just DCC's eyes have been really good. They've been taking pitches that they should be in. The way they're playing, it's either they hit it or it's a walk.
There's a good pitch by Farrell there. A curveball on the outside corner for a strike. So 1-1 count now on Lewis. Farrell. The pitch. High. So Farrell gets ready again. Swung on.
That's a
2-2
foul ball.
count.
Just Tristan Lewis so far has. This is like this is his sixth at bat of the season. As you saw last at bat, he got a pretty good hit, and we'll see what he does.
And that's
Ooh.
ripped to center field, but right at Anderson. And he tries to double off the runner at first.
That was a good break for Air Academy, finally getting another out. Carter Anderson with a great catch right there.
Yeah, that was ripped by Lewis. As a hitter, that sucks when you smash a ball and it's right at somebody.
Now we have Jimmy Smith up to bat. He's their shortstop, and his style of play has been, he's been getting a lot of RBIs. He has about 6.
Swings, grounds it. Lopez to first, not in time.
Ooh.
As you see the speed there by Smith. Lopez just hesitated a little bit.
Now up number 16, Mason Smith.
So now we have Mason Schmidt up to bat. He's their 9 hitter, so right now not looking great.
High. 1-0 count on Schmidt here. If he gets on, DCC will have batted through their entire lineup twice in 1 inning. Outside. 2-0.
We're really trying to rely on Ford just to try to get this last batter.
Low.
And Schmidt's their 9 hitter, and this is their second time just tearing through our pitching. And there's even another game on Thursday against DCC.
Walked him on 4 straight pitches. So that'll load the bases now for their leadoff hitter, Jake Cody, as he
And
comes up for the 3rd time in this inning. And
we have our meeting on the mound again. Seems like they might be taking him out.
there is going to be a pitching change. So the Cadets have gone through 3 pitchers in 1 inning. Hale Martin had to leave because of injury. And then Farrell just got rocked by DCC. So coming in to pitch, Elijah Callahan. He's a senior. He's gotten to pitch a couple times this season, and he's been pretty good in those appearances.
So now we just gotta rely on Elijah to just get us out of this inning. It's a nightmare of an inning. Elijah's been pretty good on the season. He's only got 1 earned run out of all his games he's played.
I think coming in with bases loaded might be a challenge. It's a lot mentally on the pitcher, but just knowing you only got to get 1 out in this inning is probably helping him here.
Yeah, it's super hard to get up there with the bases loaded, and with the other team having already scored 13 runs, it's a little bit more pressure and a little bit less pressure in some ways, just to pressure to get out of the inning, let your guys hit, but also you're down by 13.
Yeah, just seeing just there. Now that we got a righty in the game, it's Elijah being a righty might help us out a little bit, because just they've got like 5 left-handed batters, so we'll start seeing slightly better matchups.
Yeah, the lefties are going to be seeing Callahan a little bit better because he's a righty, because they can see that arm out here instead of closed like Farrell's is.
So this is their 3rd time going through DCC's lineup, which is just a hard thing to see for this young group in Air Academy, and just the style of play. Hoping for a bounce back here and just a little break inside of their batting.
Yeah, so Cody's up for the 3rd time this inning as the Cadets just look to get out of this inning. pitch. Swung on. Fouled back.
I was looked to be fouled off of him too, right there.
That was a good pitch there by Callahan. I don't think Cody was expecting a fastball right down the middle, and he was just under it.
Yeah, it's different than the last two pitchers Cody's seen.
And gets
That
by
one
Bremen
gets
Kampf.
away, and he's getting home.
Tarpening will
That's
score.
another score there, 14-0 on Air Academy. It's only been still the first inning, as you can see, but
So runners on second and third now for DCC. No force out anymore. So they can't just go tag the base.
yeah.
And the 1-1. Low. So 2-1 now here on Cody, as Callahan just looking to throw strikes, get something in play that hopefully the Kadets can get.
It's definitely hard mentally knowing you're down 14, and
And
that almost hit him there, but
he did go, so he really wanted to swing there.
yeah.
Or did he go? It looked like the umpire said he went, but he might not have. Yes, it will be 2-2 count.
And
Outside.
just
full count.
outside there.
That was a good spot there by Callahan, but he's gotta get something here.
This has been a pretty good at bat so far. Cody's been able to read the pitches pretty well.
High.
And that's another walk on the inning. This is just not great to see. Another bases loaded situation. Jackson Ross up to the bat. Relying on Callahan. He's got 3 appearances so far on the season and a
Now bat number
1.5 ERA. So
Yeah, all he needs to do here is throw strikes and hope he gets a ground ball. Oh, ooh, and that ball is fair.
and
So
that's going
Gore
to be
will
a force
just
out.
step on the base. So a bit of luck there for the Cadets as that was foul, then just spun fair. So that'll be the end of the top of the first. DCC leads 14-0. And we're gonna go to a quick commercial break. We'll be back with the Cadet side of the first.
Man, I freaking love Kadet tea.
I know, right? Same. I should have my first kid in it.
Every day, I'm out there, collecting the finest ingredients. Every day, I'm in the lab, perfecting my recipe. Every day, they disrespect me by calling it Kadet tea.
Hey man, can I have a drink of that KT? What are you talking about?
Hey Ryan, what are you working on?
My highlight reel.
Can I see it?
Yes.
Welcome back to Kadet Sports TV. We're in the bottom of the first, and Ryder Lopez is up to bat with a 1-1 count. And swings that. So we have a new guest here, Jesse Kurtz from Mountain West, and his son's on the team.
Yeah, his son's Braden Kurtz, which is exciting to see.
Yeah, that's right. Playing right field here today. Had a double there in the first inning, but any day you can get out on a baseball field, no matter the circumstances, it's always a good day.
Yeah, so can you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure, yeah. No, I'm almost 30 years in the sports broadcasting business. One of the radio broadcasters for Air Force football, and then have worked in television for 25 years. So I appreciate what you guys are doing here. This is a heavy lift. Putting on a baseball broadcast is incredibly difficult, and by all accounts, you guys are doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, baseball is a pretty hard sport to broadcast because you have to get all of the angles.
There's a lot of cable run.
Yeah.
There's a lot of prep that you guys have done. I see your notebooks here, so you guys have done a fantastic job, and you guys have a pretty healthy crew here. A lot of people with specialized jobs, and again, in the broadcast business, there is nothing tougher than putting on a baseball broadcast. So big ups to you guys for taking on this challenge.
Yeah, and you saw Lopez there line out to the shortstop, and up now is Samley, and he quickly gets down 0-1.
Now there's a pretty good hit from Sam, and that's just barely going to be gunned out.
Yeah, so Jimmy Smith, the shortstop, has been getting a lot of play here. He's gotten both of the outs for DCC. Yeah, and we just want to thank you for the Mountain West donation of all the equipment that we've got. It's been really helpful to our program.
I'm thankful that you guys were able to come and pick it up. We didn't quite know exactly where we were going to put all that stuff, and to put it in the hands of the next generation of sports broadcasters is exactly what we wanted. And so we thank you guys for coming and taking it out, and maybe more importantly, putting it to great use.
Yeah, it's been super helpful to have all of the extra gear and everything.
Well, it has definitely been put to good use, as evidenced by what you guys are doing here today and all the sports that you guys have broadcast. I've watched your wrestling coverage and basketball coverage, and there aren't many high schools around the country that are doing what you guys are doing.
Okay, nice, yeah.
Yeah, that's really great that we've been able to get broadcasting done. And just our equipment we've been using, we have our teleprompter I think we got from Mountain West, and there's Carter Anderson.
And that will be down.
Just down.
That'll be at least a double for Anderson.
Another part of seeing this sophomore lineup here, Carter Anderson, he's been really strong hitter on the season. And he's even got a 467 average, which might even be lifted after today.
Yeah, that's his 7th double of the season there.
467, that'll play at any level, guys. You hit 467, you're right at the top of the lineup.
Yeah, that's a great batting average.
Perfect for the 3 spot. Now we got Logan Sullivan up to bat. Just pretty good. He's going to college for baseball.
That's low there. Yeah, he's going to Polk State, which is a JUCO in Florida. He's super excited about it to get to play in college.
Junior college baseball is legit. Some of the best players in the country start at that level because it really is all about baseball. You go there for 2 years and you eat, sleep, and breathe ball.
Yeah, rip to right.
Rip to
and
right,
that's
and
down
just
there
gets
for
down.
Sullivan.
And that might score
And
in Carter
Anderson's
Anderson,
going,
and
he
that'll
will
get him there.
So first run of the game there for the Cadets, as the score is now 14-1 with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first.
So we're starting to see a little bit of a bounce back for Air Academy. Might not be the greatest, but at least we're getting runs in.
Yeah, and you said, Jesse, that you're the radio broadcaster for Air Force football. So how are they looking next year?
You know what? I think the Falcons will be much better than they have been the last couple of years. Missed bowl games in back-to-back years, but pretty young team. A lot of great talent at key positions coming back. Starting at the quarterback, Liam Zarko was just a sophomore last year. Played well above his years. Starting fullback Owen Allen has a chance to be one of the really great ones under Troy Calhoun to carry the ball from that position. Linebacking core on defense should be very stout, and the secondary played a lot of freshmen and sophomore last year. All those guys obviously a year older, a year wiser. So I think the Falcons are primed for a big bounce back, and I don't think there's any reason that you can't expect that team to go to a bowl game once again.
Yeah, that's really good to hear. I'm probably going to try to go to more games this year, so that's good to hear that they'll be better.
Well, you need to come up and visit us up in the broadcast booth, my man. You need to come in and take in a few quarters.
That'd be really
Let's
cool
make it
to
happen.
do.
Yeah, that would be great.
Absolutely.
I enjoy Air Force football. I like seeing their games. Sometimes I watch them on cable, and
Lewis
it's awesome
is
to see.
really looking at Logan Sullivan here on first base. He's picked off a lot.
Yeah. We have Trevor Burwell up to bat. He's been fighting for this. Just fighting for hits here.
Tristan Lewis has been the best pitcher for Discovery Canyon this year. He came into the year probably penciled in as the maybe number 4 starter. But Discovery Canyon had a couple of injuries to their 1 and 2 pitchers, and Tristan Lewis has stepped up in a major way and has, without question, been this team's best pitcher here so far this year.
Yeah, he looks like it too. He's been dealing today.
Big kid, wrestler, throws hard, excellent competitor.
Yeah, and your son Braden's a senior this year.
Yep.
How do you feel about that? Are you sad, excited for what's going to happen?
Everything, yes. He's our youngest. We had an older kid who graduated 3 years ago from Discovery Canyon, was a baseball player. So once Braden is in college, we are empty nesters in our house. So I'm trying to take all this in as this is the end of the road for us.
Yeah. And that's the third out of the inning there for DCC. So the Cadets get 1 run back, but they're still down 14-1 going into the top of the second.
Now we're going to have to face their lineup for the 3rd time today, which isn't a great look for Air Academy, but we'll just see how Elijah up here will.
And now
pitch
we're going to
this
head
inning.
to a quick commercial break before the top of the second inning.
We've been watching a lot of professional soccer recently so that we can get ready for the girls' upcoming season. It's been great, but there's been a bunch of injuries around the school recently.
Game last night. You guys are looking really good this season.
Yeah, let's be.
I should be at.
Oh, my ankle! Oh! 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 I'm not gonna be able to go to school for weeks. Oh my goodness!
So young, get up. He's fine.
Hello, folks. Welcome back to our Air Academy baseball broadcast. Now we have, we still have Elijah up pitching, and it's just exciting to see him back up here. And for DCC, we have Cole Telchik up to bat here.
Cole's one of the top players in the state. He's a 4-year starter for Discovery Canyon, 2-time captain. One of the best hitters in the state, going to Missouri State to play catcher next year in college.
Yeah, he looks like one of the best hitters in the state today, too. He's been killing the baseball.
Yeah, he's an all-state player. I don't think you'll find many players in this state that are better than 11 and black here today, and I mean that honestly. He is truly one of the best high school baseball players here in the state.
He's just been tearing it up here as a hitter. I think it's just facing out here in Air Academy. It's just cool to see him play.
Yeah. And so 3-1 on him now. Callahan looks like he's a little bit scared to face him, and I would be too if I was pitching against him.
Yeah, definitely. He's got a 600 average on the season, which is just insane for high school ball. And there
That one's
goes
lifted,
that one.
and that'll get
That'll-
down for a hit. So another hit there for Telchik.
When you have a big hitter like Telchik, we've seen a lot this year, guys, where pitchers will pitch around him and he gets walked a lot, which is why they have a guy like Chase Ashley hitting right behind him, because Chase Ashley is a heck of a power hitter, and if you're going to pick your poison, you pitch around Telchik, then you have to deal with Ashley here immediately after.
Yeah, that's a really great 1-2 punch.
It's interesting to be able to see Ashley's hitting. He's also been getting some good hits on our lineup also against our pitching. This is his third pitcher he's seen today. And that's a really good take
That's
right there.
a called strike
that's
there.
a called strike?
So the Kadets are just looking to limit the damage in this inning, try to get some more in the bottom of this inning. And the 1-1 pitch. Outside.
Just need to be able to gain control against him. It just seems so far after today, every single hitter is just being able to tear up Air Academy's pitching. So let's see how Elijah faces this lefty batter now.
This is a Thunder lineup, guys, that over the last couple of games has struggled swinging the bats. So they've been due here. This is a team that's been very, very hungry. Had back-to-back disappointments against Lutheran. Didn't hit the ball very well against Roaring Fork yesterday. So it's been a hungry team, and they were kind of chomping at the bit to get back out here and get back on that hitting track.
Yeah, I was really surprised when I saw they didn't score against Lutheran in one of their games.
One of the best pitching performances I've seen at the high school level in the state of Colorado. The Lutheran pitcher struck out 16 Thunder batters. Very capable lineup.
That's elite.
Wow.
And now Braden Kurtz.
And that
single into
gets
right
past.
field.
And that might score a run. That
That
scores, makes it 15-1 here.
Yeah, so that's your son out there.
It is. Proud dad for sure. He's had an excellent senior season.
Yeah, and he's 5th in the Pikes Peak League for home runs. How have you seen his power blossom?
He's never been a power hitter, so it's been one of those things where all of a sudden he hit the weight room pretty hard and has found some barrels. Has hit 3 out. I thought he hit a 4th one here today and ended up being a double. The one to right center, the one that one-hopped the fence. I thought that maybe he had a chance to get out, but that just it goes to show you put in the work and trust the process. Good things can happen, because it was all about just getting stronger and hitting the weight room.
Yeah, for a second I thought that double was out there too. That ball was crushed.
Yeah.
Here's a kid, Hugh Tarpening was probably coming in the #1 pitcher for Discovery Canyon. Tore his UCL in his pitching arm, so he can't pitch. Really can't play first because he can't throw, so he exclusively hits. He's the DH here today.
And there it's going to be
Foul
just fouled
ball.
off.
Yeah, I was looking at some of their stats. I saw he throws 90. I was really confused about why he hasn't pitched this season, but that makes sense now.
Torn UCL, so he can't pitch. He's going to go to an engineering school in Indiana. He's going to play college basketball.
Oh,
Heck
yeah,
of an athlete.
He looks like a basketball player. He's tall.
Yeah. Now that's a really good pitch by Elijah up there, getting his first K, I believe.
Yeah, strike 3 looking.
It's a really good spot. You can live there all day. Low and outside on the outside black. Nearly. If the guy's going to get a bat on it, it's probably not going to be with any level of authority. So you can live there all day if you're the Kadet pitching.
Yeah. Now we have Tristan Lewis up.
Strike 1. So Callahan has really dialed it in these last couple of batters. He hasn't thrown a ball in a while.
Every single player in this lineup, this is their third at bat. And
Strike 2.
for Tarpening, it's really interesting to see how or not Tarpening, that's Lewis, excuse me, and he's not seen many at bats this season. So it's just cool to see how it unfolds.
Yeah, Tristan Lewis he's pitched a bunch, and sometimes when he's the pitcher, he'll get DH for just trying to save his energy, right? And then he's the backup catcher, and he sits behind Cole Telchik, an all-state catcher. So he's biding his time. He'll probably be the starting catcher next year when Telchik has graduated. But when Telu has been entered in the lineup, he's delivered for Justin Ross.
And that one just gets
Diving
passed.
Sullivan barely gets by him. And he'll stop at third base. So another hit there for the Thunder, as they've had a lot this game.
And that, you see, just loads the bases here. And now we got Jackson Smith up. Won't be Jimmy Smith, which will be all right to see. He's got a 375 average on the season.
Yeah, so DCC has almost gone through their lineup 4 times already, and it's the second inning. Another good pitch by Callahan there.
Got bases loaded with one out here. That's just high right there.
Yeah, so Callahan has really been living in and around the strike zone. He hasn't thrown a lot of pitches that were really out there.
Yeah, he's been doing a good job keeping control. The one thing is that just their hitting's been able to get through on, it seems, every single pitcher today.
The 2-1 pitch.
And your job as a pitcher, right, is to get outs. And what's the quickest way to get outs is to induce soft contact, right? You don't have to go out there and be a strikeout pitcher. Strikeout pitchers end up throwing a lot of pitches. You limit your pitch count by inducing weak contact, and that's how you can really be efficient. And you got to live around the zone if you're going to induce weak contact.
Yeah, that's super important. And strikeout pitchers have a purpose, but that's really just to close. And it's a lot more important. And that walks in a run. So 16-1 in favor of DCC. Yeah, it's super important to just be around the strike zone.
We might end up seeing a mercy rule soon around here.
Yeah, not quite yet. You can't mercy rule after 2 innings, but it's 20 runs after 3. So we're getting close to that territory.
Cadets will have a couple of at-bats coming up, so.
Yep, and there's liner into left field. That'll score 1. So 17-1 DCC.
This is how dangerous the Thunder lineup can be, guys. Mason Schmidt, they're hitting in the 9-hole today with that base hit. He was the leadoff hitter the last couple of games. Had a really good game at Lutheran in that shutout, but he was one of the guys that really barreled up the ball a number of times. So you got a guy that's capable of hitting at that level, against that level of pitching, hitting in your 9-hole to turn over the lineup.
Yeah, there are no holes in this DCC lineup.
Just bat after bat, you just see hit after hit, and one important thing is the batter's eye, and we've just been seeing walks or hits, pretty much. Only seen like 1 strikeout from Elijah here. So it's hard to take control when they're just executing this game so perfectly.
Yeah, Jake Cody is back up to bat again for his 4th time.
Jake Cody committed to play at Adams State in college down in Alamosa.
Yeah, that's a good D2 college.
Absolutely. It was brought back to life by a guy named Jim Capra, who his claim to fame was he was the head coach at Arvada West, and he was the head coach for Roy Halladay, who's a Major League Baseball Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Ooh. And that one, he was really early on that pitch. That goes over the fence, foul.
Jake Cody's really fighting for another RBI here with bases loaded. He's got 10 on the season and just one hit, and it'll add another.
And that was a great pitch there by Callahan. A great eye by Cody to not bite.
That was a great pitch. 2-2. You're trying to induce weak contact, and Cody thought about that 1, 2, 3 times before he held back on it.
He really wanted that. And high, so that'll walk in another run. So still one out here for the Cadets.
Now up to bat number 7, Jackson Ross.
Now that we have Jackson Ross up to bat, he's a senior on the team, and just that last at bat was really good. Just being able to take those balls for Cody at least was really good, and it brings Jackson up in a good position.
Jackson Ross, probably one of the faster guys in the state. Certainly, maybe the fastest in the city. He had a triple earlier in the game. If he finds a gap, he's going to run a long, long time. He can absolutely fly. His dad's the head coach. His dad is one of the all-time stolen base stealers at the University of Tennessee.
And he can't really be running on that one, as that almost got him in the back of the neck. Looked like it got him just under the helmet.
Next up to bat number 11, Cole Hudson.
Now that we have Cole Telsic for his 4th at bat, it's just kind of disappointing to see for Air Academy. It's great for DCC, but just the way their play has been, it's been perfect.
Yeah, how much more damage can he do?
Baseball's a funny game, guys. You can have games like this, and then things get totally flipped in the next meeting. So these two teams will meet again on Thursday, and no question, Air Academy will reset. I mean, the results, obviously, no one knows what those will be, but the best teams can kind of just rid themselves of a tough effort like this, and come back and equal the series.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be the message in practice for Coach Weigel, as there's another single by Telchik.
That might drive in 2 runs.
That scores 1.
Just 1.
20-1 for DCC.
This is just unfolded to become a blowout here for Air Academy. Just hard to be able to take control as a pitcher when you have to face a lineup like this with D1 commits, D2.
Yeah, you could feel it in the first inning a little bit after Hale Martin had to get taken out after 3 batters. And soft ground ball, chance for 2 here. And
that just gets away from them. Another little error in Air Academy.
I think you brought up a good point there, in that when you lose your starting pitcher 3 batters in, the whole game plan goes out the window, right? And it's really hard to get back on track when your intended track has completely been diverted.
Yeah, I don't think the coaches were expecting to have Farrell out there in the first inning at all. I think they wanted to save him till the 3rd or maybe even the 4th inning.
Yeah. As we have Braden Kurtz up to bat.
His
So
second of the inning.
It's really interesting to see from the perspective of you as the dad for Braden.
There's nothing more nerve-wracking than watching your kid either on base or at the plate, because you can't do it for him. You want to do it for him. He's a better hitter than I ever was, so he wouldn't want me to do it for him. But to sit there and watch your kid, and all eyes are on them, it's quite a nerve-wracking experience.
And goes
Good
down
pitch.
swinging there.
There's a K for Elijah. Second one of the inning, so that's a good thing to see now. Just looking to be able to get out Hugh here.
Gonna get a pinch hitter here, guys.
Pinch hitter?
Alex Doyle is going to pinch hit for Hugh Tarpening.
So just a change of the DHs. And going back to Braden, can you tell us more about just how you've seen him grow?
Yeah, I mean, it's all about confidence, right? this is kind of one of those games that can get in your head in a major way. He has learned, as a lot of the really good baseball players do, that you let the mistakes or the things that don't go your way go. You quickly celebrate the things that do, but then you move on from those too, right? Like, you're never as good as those high highs, and you're never as bad as those low lows. So to understand that, live that, and employ that in the way that you play, I think you can grow in a big way.
Yeah, I think that's a really great way to look at that. It's just not getting too high.
Here's a guy, Alex Doyle. This is only his second at bat of the season. He was hurt earlier in the year. He's now kind of getting back into the swing of things. He had an at bat against Roaring Fork yesterday, but a guy that figured to factor pretty heavily into the Discovery Canyon lineup at the start of the year has not because of injury, but here he is with his second at bat of the season.
And is he a junior or senior?
He's a junior. His older brother was a really good player at Cheyenne Mountain.
That's interesting that he went to DCC and his brother went to Cheyenne Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, both totally different schools. One's more northern, one's more southern. And
yeah.
As you see, there's ball there.
So if Callahan walks him here, that will be another RBI here, as the bases are still loaded. And it's a 3-1 count, so he's getting close to that. Lined past a diving
Just
Sullivan. That's going to score 2.
So even with pinch hitters, we're not even getting a break for Air Academy. That's going to be 23-1 after just 2 innings.
Yeah, was that Doyle's first hit of the season? Did he have
It
any
was.
yesterday?
Yep. Nope. That's his first base hit of the season and his first RBI of the season.
It's nice to see, I mean, even in a game like this, just people getting at-bats, even if it's DCC.
Well, it's the human part of it, right? A guy that gets injured and the season hasn't gone the way that he had hoped or the way that he had intended. To understand that you put in the work to grind back and you get a chance to do that and have some success, you can applaud that.
And now Elijah's being taken out of the game, which is just disappointing to see after a great start. It's just been a hard fight.
And now we're going to take a quick break for the national anthem. Okay, and we're back after that quick break for the national anthem as Jackson Gore is getting warmed up to pitch.
That's just something very different about the base that is just something weird for opposing teams' parents and stuff. Having the national anthem in the middle of the game is a pretty cool thing. We never saw one earlier in the day, but every day at 4:45 we do the national anthem on. base? 5 now? 5.
Yeah. And so it looks like we're going to have a little bit of position changes. Trevor Burwell is going to go to first, and Landon Lawrence is going to go in at second base. Landon Lawrence, he's played JV a lot. He just got brought up to varsity a couple games ago, and he's been doing pretty well. He's gotten one at bat. He struck out against a tough pitcher, but he's been doing really well in the field.
Always awesome when you get the call up and get your shot, right? I mean, it's almost like it's a win-win situation for you. JV players aren't supposed to come up and have success. You're supposed to struggle, but if you come up and you rise to the occasion, you have success, it feels really good. So when guys get their opportunity at the next level, it's really important to understand that the pressure's really off, right? There's not a whole lot to prove there. The stuff that people really need to go out and prove are the ones that are supposed to do it. So when you're a JV player and you get your opportunity, you relish that and you do the best job that you can.
Yeah, it sucks to see him leaving JV, but it's also great to see him getting chances on varsity.
Sure. I mean, when you're running a baseball program and you have a varsity level, a JV level, and a C squad level, really all three of those levels, they're all focused on how do we make the varsity better. And if that's pushing guys up, getting ready for varsity baseball, and then obviously the varsity team, their one objective is to win baseball games. So if that JV player is ready and he can make an impact and he can help the varsity, then you absolutely owe it to that kid to bring him up and give him his opportunity and give him a chance.
And first pitch strike there by Gore.
And we have Tristan Lewis up to bat for DCC for his 4th time here. I believe last bat he struck out too.
All right, 2 quick strikes by Gore there. He's dotting the corners.
It's great to get to see that he's just starting to take control of this game. Oh.
Lifted to center.
That's
and
caught.
Caught by Anderson to end the inning. So DCC scores 7 this inning, and it'll be the Kadets side of the inning, down 23-1.
Yeah, we're finally reaching the 3rd inning after
bottom of the 2nd.
Bottom 2nd? Oh, well, we're getting close.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Jesse, for joining us. It's been really great to have you and to just hear what you've had to give us.
Well, fellas, I'm flattered that I was asked. I'm tickled that you guys are putting the equipment to good use, and keep up the great work. Again, there's not a lot of schools around the country that are taking on the challenge of what you guys are doing, so keep up the great work. I know Kadet Athletics really appreciates it. Some DCC grandparents that are watching appreciate it, but no, seriously, you guys are doing a fantastic job, and keep it up.
Thank you.
You bet.
And now we're going to head to commercial break.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about personal finance. The first topic we're going to talk about is budgeting, right? Fun stuff. So when we talk about budgeting, what would we do with our first paycheck? How about you, Tadra?
Save.
Interesting.
Save all day.
Okay.
All I do is save.
Okay, looking for something a little different.
SAVE.
Okay, just like what we talked about.
I save everything.
Morning, girl. You don't need the Charleston.
I know I should be doing my homework, but I think I'm just gonna spend a little more time on social media. Is that supposed to be me? Why would they say this? What am I supposed to do?
Is she talking about us? Oh, she cannot. We have to flame her. And we have to get all of our friends to flame her. Maybe we can get her to leave the school.
Adriana, we can always choose to be kind, and we can always choose to be the bigger person. Wouldn't we feel horrible if all of this turned violent? Of all the self-harm cases that are reported, a quarter of them trace back to cyberbullying. This isn't us. We can rise above and end the cycle.
Welcome back to Kadet Sports TV. We're in the bottom of the second, 1 out, and Zach Kelly is up to bat.
And strike 3 there on Kelly. So he got down 1-2 quickly and then struck out on that. And before him, Jacoby Rebold, first pitch, swinging, popped it up to center field, and center fielder caught it.
Yeah. It's been an alright inning, just 2 straight outs. Now we have Gavin Bremenkamp going up to bat.
Swinging at the high cheese there.
Seems like might be getting through this inning pretty fast. Their pitcher's looking really good so far.
Looks like a lot of movement, a lot of swing and misses from the Kadets.
Yeah, he's throwing amazing. He's pitching amazing today.
Yeah, Tristan Lewis has been an ace.
And fouled off by Bremenkamp. He's staying alive.
That one was all the way back in the parking lots.
So 0-2 now on Bremenkamp. Kadets down 23-1 in the bottom of the second. Low.
The way Tristan Lewis's pitching style has been is, it's just been extraordinary to see him play against us, even though he's opposing and he's just doing great.
Lined into left. That'll get down for Bremenkamp. It's going to go all the way to the wall. And a stand-up double there for Bremenkamp.
That's huge for the Kadets, getting some momentum in the second inning to hopefully get some runs back here.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of a 2-out rally happening. So Jackson Gore's up now, trying to help himself a little bit, if he can.
It's always fun to see teams trying to come back with a 2-out rally, because it's like, it's a little like nail-biting, you'd say.
Yeah, I mean, I know for JV, we're always the loudest when we're down, just trying to get back into it.
Yeah, just bring yourself that momentum.
And that's low.
And it even carries over the next inning. Like, for third inning, if we can keep this momentum going, it'll be a good push to try to just get runs on the board.
Yeah, and we've been going for an hour, and we're in the second inning right now. So they're going to call a little mound meeting. Maybe just to get Lewis just to settle down a little bit. He's been throwing a couple balls.
Yeah. Seems to me that I might have jinxed it when I was talking about his acing. He got a great, our batter had a really good double right then. Just Lewis's style of play, it's been good. Maybe just needs a little bit of a break here.
Yeah, so we're going to get back into the game. 2-0 count, 2 outs. Jackson Gore at the plate, and Kadets down 23-1.
Runner in scoring position here for Jackson Gore. And
he wanted that one, but holds off. So it'll be a 3-0 count.
Just a bit high. Tristan Lewis just needs to gain back control for. But there seems like DCC is starting to lose some momentum now.
How much momentum can you really lose, though?
Yeah.
If you're up by this much.
Might be up 23-1, but gotta have high hopes, I guess.
Yeah. He did throw a strike on that last pitch, a fastball down the middle. And
that's going to be ball
very
4.
outside. Bremenkamp's going to take third on that.
Jackson Gores just read that little, just read Tristan Lewis really well on that play right there.
Yeah, so Ryder Lopez, the one hitter, back up to the plate.
It's his second at bat. It's really exciting to see how Ryder Lopez has been just tearing it up as a hitter this year. A couple games ago, he had a homer, and he's got a .394 average right now.
Yeah, that home run, I was at that game, and pickoff move, he's safe. And he absolutely launched the homer. It probably went maybe 400 feet. It was Green Mountain up in Denver.
That's crazy. He wanted that one too there.
Yeah, his elbow guard even fell off.
I think it's always something you want to see, your bottom of the lineup getting on base for the top of your lineup to hopefully hit in.
Yeah, especially because the top looked like a little bit of a balk there from Lewis, but no calls from the umpires.
Got a little bit of wind out here on the field. It's getting chilly.
Into left center field.
Big hit.
That
might
is going to
be a
hang
sac
up
fly.
enough.
And that's going to be out number 3.
That'll be 3 outs for the Kadets as they fail to score. And DCC leads 23-1 going into the top of the third, and we're going to head to commercial break.
Loss is devastating. Anyone who has faced grief can tell you how much of a struggle it is to find hope and a positive outcome after a monumental tragedy. For the Air Academy community, navigating tragedy has been a process. The Riley Whitelaw Music Festival has been a staple for 3 years now. Every year, musicians and student council members come together to raise money for the Riley Whitelaw Memorial Fund.
So just kind of helping everyone remember her and the kindness and dedication she had, just carrying that out throughout this event is something that's really important to me.
The Riley Whitelaw Memorial Fund was created after the murder of a 17-year-old Air Academy student. In June 2022, she was found in the back room of a Walgreens. When news of Riley's passing broke, it rattled the school to its core. A year of processing such immense grief left the community searching for a way to memorialize Riley. 3D arts teacher Johnny Olanogan treasures the beauty that has risen from the ashes of tragedy.
And then the connection, the community, the relationships, that's what gets you through this. You can't do it by yourself.
When tragedy strikes, the world may keep spinning, but it is forever changed. Riley Whitelaw changed so many people's lives, and the music festival continues her legacy. Riley loved music, participated in theater tech, and the event's trophies used her own artwork. The audience donated to the Memorial Fund while casting votes for their favorite band. And in the end, more than $2,000 were raised for students passionate about the arts. Grief demands to be let out. Allowing the process to unfold can create beauty, even when difficult.
Every day I walk through these halls, they're with me.
I know I should be doing my homework, but I think I'm just gonna spend a little more time on social media. Is that supposed to be me? Why would they say this? What am I supposed to do?
Is she talking about us? Oh, she cannot. We have to flame her. And we have to get all of our friends to flame her. Maybe we can get her to leave the school.
Adriana, we can always choose to be kind, and we can always choose to be the bigger person. Wouldn't we feel horrible if all of this turned violent? Of all the self-harm cases that are reported, 1/4 of them trace back to cyberbullying. This isn't us. We can rise above and end the cycle.
Welcome back to Kadet Sports TV, Air Academy versus DCC Baseball. Here in the top of the third, DCC leads 23-1. And almost hits the first batter. So not a great start here for Gore. Gore's the fourth pitcher of the game in 3 innings. You never really want to see that.
So we have Jimmy Smith up to bat again here.
And that one does hit him.
Ooh.
So quickly on base there, Smith.
Got a little bit of chirpiness from DCC's dugout here. Seems like Jackson Gore is losing control a little bit of it, but it's hard to keep control when you're kind of down 23-1. But the thing is, just there's no holes inside their lineup.
Yeah, it might be this weather. The wind is really picked up.
I'm sitting here in the booth just shivering. It's freezing, it feels like. As we have somebody up to bat. Is that Alex Doyle?
No, it looks like another pinch hitter, but we don't know who this is for DCC. This is Cooper Blankenship for DCC. So another pinch hitter here, as they're just trying to get all of their guys reps. And good pitch there by Gore. That makes the count 2-2.
Jackson Gore's got to try to keep control. We have a run on first, just trying to keep this, just try to keep it insignificant as a loss, a little less.
Yeah, and outside of baseball and Kadet Sports TV this week, we have a lot of things going on just inside Air Academy. We have testing week for freshmen through juniors, so Bailey, you just get a couple days off.
Yeah, it's really nice not having to go to school for a couple of days. You know, you take your turn. I took the SATs last year, but seniors do have some fun activities. We got senior breakfast at Flying W Ranch on Friday morning, and then back there for prom on Saturday. Last year it was up in more north, about 40 minutes, so it's nice to have something a little more local this year.
Yeah, and speaking of prom, are you going to go?
Yeah, I do have plans with my friends and my boyfriend, and it's a big senior group, so that's super exciting. One last big school dance with all of our friends will be super fun.
Yeah, and hey, maybe we'll see Ryan. He's there filming the prom for Air Academy News.
Yeah, it's just a nice prom story. We're going to be able to go film it. It'll just be a fun time. I'm just been enjoying Air Academy News this year, making these types of segments.
Yeah, it's been really fun this year. So 2-1 here.
Got Jake Cody on the bat.
This is his 5th at-bat of the game, and it's only the 3rd inning. And that one goes to the backstop, and both of the DCC guys will advance. So Gore is struggling a little bit to find the strike zone here. He looked pretty good last inning, but I don't know, it might be the wind and the cold, or that he just sat down. He's having a little trouble.
I used to play Little League ball, and the thing was, pitching, it was so hard because your hands get all cold whenever it's freezing like this.
Yeah, for sure. In the fall with softball, I always had hot hands in my back pocket to keep my fingers warm, but my guess is Jackson wasn't probably expecting to pitch today, and so he also didn't probably get to warm up too much either.
Yeah, I don't think any of this game has gone to plan for Air Academy. And there's another hit into right field.
He gets it down. There's Cody.
And that'll score 2. You see the new right fielder, Matthew Torres, fielding that. And then we also have a new first baseman, Chase McAfee. And I think that's all of the substitutions. So
something fun with high school ball is you get to see your classmates just playing ball. Like Matthew Torres, he sits in front of me in geography. It's just so fun to be able to see them play.
Yeah, for sure. That's a great part about high school ball. And batting now for DCC is Brendan Ramsey. He's pinch run a couple times for Colt Telchik, who's catching, but getting his own at bat now. And he looks at 2 balls.
This is Ramsey's 5th at bat of the season, which is kind of weird to hear because most players are getting their 5th at bat of the game, but it's just fun to see that. Even though we're losing, you can look at the downside of things and think, what else can you do differently in future games? Young team, and we have a bright future ahead, hopefully.
And walks Ramsey. So that'll bring Colt Telchik up to the plate for his 5th at bat of the day. He's hit really well today.
Telchik has been one of these just hard-hitting batters. He's feels like every time he's at bat, the pitchers might be scared of him.
Doesn't look like Gore is, though, as he throws a first pitch strike. That was a very good spot.
Yeah. Gore's pitching has been, he's seen ups and downs today, and there's another ball there, but just every single pitch, it's been just hit or miss.
Yeah, it's been like that for the Cadets. Just overall, they haven't had a lot of good plays. That ball just eats up Sullivan there. So another miscue for the Cadets, and that'll load the bases now.
Something we talked about before the game was making sure to minimize those errors, so getting outs where we can with such a strong lineup, and that's something the Cadets have struggled with this game. So we gotta see the field get cleaned up and minimize on the errors for the rest of this game.
Yeah, I think both teams just really want this game to be over. It hasn't been great for the Cadets.
As we see Chase Ashley up in the batter's box now, it's a righty on lefty bat match-in, and that'll be a ball.
Gore's been missing a lot of his pitches low. I think it's just his release point is a little bit farther out than he would like. So just trying to get all of those pitches up is super important. That one was outside. So 3-0 now on Ashley.
Ashley's play on the season has also been really good, especially with runners in scoring position. I believe he has 7 RBIs.
There's a strike from Gore.
Might be added more today.
And there's a ball low. So that'll walk in another run, making the score 26-1 here in the top of the 3rd. Still nobody out.
I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. It's always great to be able to see seniors playing because they influence the younger guys on the team, and it's just fun to be able to watch.
Yeah, and let's see. Braden Kurtz had a double that almost just hit the fence. Let's see if he can maybe get one over. He really wanted that one, as he took a big swing and he's down 0-2 now. Already has 1 strikeout this game.
It's really cool to be able to see Braden Kurtz playing from the perspective having Jesse Kurtz next to us, and that was a foul off there.
Yeah, I think it was really great to get a different perspective, somebody who's a fan of DCC, not just people who go to Air Academy. And I think it was really great to get his perspective as a dad of a player.
Yeah.
Kurtz is battling here. He fouled off one and then took one for a ball. And swings right through that one. So that'll be the first out of the inning here for the Cadets. Just looking to get out of this inning.
It's huge with bases loaded to be able to strike out that batter and minimize on the runs that are scoring, as they are up by so much, to maybe give them a chance to come back a little bit.
We have Alex Doyle back up to bat for a second time of the day, and he's been pinch hitting for, I believe it was Hugh Taberning. And
yeah, and lines one into center field. That is gonna only score one. DCC does hold up. And that was Doyle's second hit of the game and his second hit of the season, as he's been out for most of the year with an injury.
He's having a really good day for coming back from injury. It's always hard to try to play your sport after having an injury. Like, it's just a pain to try to get back, but it's always such a good confidence booster when you're able to get out there and get a couple hits and even have a run batted in right there.
Yeah, and so now pitching we have Jacoby Rebold in for Jackson Gore. He's a sophomore. He played a little bit of varsity last year as a freshman. He mostly just pinch ran, but we'll see what he can do. He hasn't really gotten to pitch on varsity this year. He pitched down for us for JV one game and didn't do too great, but I think he's learned from that. I think he can pitch better today. And facing him, we have a pinch hitter, Wyatt Cornelius. He went to Air Academy last year as a freshman. He's the only sophomore on DCC's varsity, and they know each other really well. I think it'll be interesting to see the battle.
It's cool getting to see Jacoby getting up there and pitching after being a JV player, because he struggled with injury in his career. Like, just a few weeks ago, I remember him talking about, oh, his knee, this, and just injury.
Yeah, just before the season started, he broke his wrist in a snowboarding accident and didn't even know if he would get to play at all.
It's always awesome just getting to see players play after injury.
Yeah, I could see both Jacoby and Wyatt smiling when they saw who they were going to be facing, because they know each other so well. They both played JV last year, and I think it's going to be a great matchup. So last warm-up pitch here for Rebold. And Cornelius is going to step into the box. Bases loaded, one out, top of the third. Cadets down 27-1. First pitch is a curveball. Good pitch there by Rebold. Even though it was low, it started at the bottom of the zone.
Yeah, it's really good take by Wyatt also. They just know each other really well.
And then that was also a very good pitch, just maybe a little bit high there. So 2-0 count. And ball gets by Bremenkamp, but nobody advances. So 3-0 count. Rebold has yet to throw a strike here. And Cornelius was taking that all the way. He didn't even get into any kind of athletic stance there.
Yeah. Jacoby's just throwing a few balls, so didn't seem Cornelius was expecting it.
And lifted to left. And Colbert's going to get under that. So that he was also a new sub. I think when Jacoby Rebold went into pitch, he's a senior this year. Nathan Colbert hasn't gotten a lot of playing time, but it's nice to see him make a play, help his team.
Yeah, and that's huge to be able to get that out there with bases loaded. Now there's 2 outs, so they can get out of this inning easier.
Yeah, definitely. I was surprised to see they didn't decide to go with a sac fly there.
Yeah, I don't think DCC wants to put any more runs up. At some point, it's just unsportsmanlike, and I think they've reached that point. I think they could have probably tagged, but didn't want to.
Yeah. So they're just showing excellent sportsmanship by not just trying to run up the score, which Air Academy players are thankful for.
So 1-1, low. 2-1 count here for Jimmy Smith, taking his 5th at-bat of the day. Called strike there. Great pitch by Rebold. Smith wanted to go around, held, and it was still a strike. And really tried to get there. And runner from third goes. That's Max Lyons, and he's in there safely. Other 2 runners advance.
Max Lyons wanted that one. You could see him leading off from third every single pitch, it seemed.
It's interesting they went on the pass ball, but not on the sac fly.
Yeah, they maybe just... I don't really know. I feel like the sac fly would have been safer. And ball 4.
Jimmy Smith just using his eyes pretty well and taking these pitches.
Now we're back number 15, Blankenship.
Yeah, and this is Cooper Blankenship. He pinch hit for Mason Schmidt last inning and is getting another at-bat. And gets by Bremenkamp again. Runner on third does not go. The coaching decisions by DCC are a little bit interesting. They went on one pass ball, didn't go on another, didn't go on a sac fly, didn't go on a fly out.
They just don't want to run up the score, but sometimes they are.
And there's a strike by Rebold. So he's been around the strike zone for most of his appearance. Low. 2-1 count. And when he has been missing and throwing balls, it has been mostly low because he has such a short arm when he's throwing. He wants to throw from right next to his head. And
just gets in the
play.
Hole.
And great play there by Landon
just
Lawrence.
Out there.
Got in front of that ball, made the play, barely made the throw to get him. So we're going to go into the Kadets side of the third. DCC up 28-1, and we're going to take a quick commercial break.
Being exposed to various cultures is vital to any high schooler's experience and expands their world perspective. On February 3rd, Air Academy High School hosted a St. Bridget's Night celebration, sponsored by the Celtic Culture Club, a newly organized club whose focus is to spread awareness of Celtic traditions and cultures. One of the most fascinating aspects of the night was the Celtic Steps Irish Dance Showcase. The owner and operator of Celtic Steps is Sean Casey, but his top student and Air Academy senior, Leah Grossi, was on hand to lead the exhibition.
Well, we've been teaching Leah forever, I think since she was about 6 years old, and we've seen like so much growth in her technique and in her determination.
Leah is a busy young woman with a lot on her plate, learning how to maintain a good work-life-school balance. She has commitments everywhere, but Irish dancing has remained a constant in her life for over a decade.
I don't know, my favorite thing about dancing is just getting to dance and getting to put my rhythm on the floor, my beats, or...
After After years of dedication to Irish dancing, Leah's worlds have collided, and she has helped establish a Celtic culture club at Air Academy High School. Leah has accomplished so much in such a short time. Her athletic and extracurricular workload alone would be enough to push most 18-year-olds' boundaries. But for Leah, she continues dancing, not only competing individually, where she has traveled the world winning national titles, but helping build a community at Air Academy where people can celebrate cultures together.
There's different perspectives that people are coming from and backgrounds. And so the more you understand the different types of backgrounds people come from, the more you can appreciate everybody.
So why has Leah Grossi kept up such a commitment over 12 years? Leah's commitment isn't just physical. It's an emotional connection to her mom, who passed away when she was 8.
I'm always dancing for her, looking up at her in heaven, and just really wanting to make her proud.
Most people don't find the thing that makes them hum until well into adulthood. But luckily for Leah, she found it at a very young age. And in addition to a passion, Leah found a family and a community of like-minded people who share her love.
Man, I freaking love Kadet tea.
I know, right? Same. I should name my first kid Kadet.
Every day, I'm out there, collecting the finest ingredients. Every day, I'm in the lab, perfecting my recipe. Every day, they disrespect me by calling it Kadet tea.
Hey man, can I have a drink of that KT? What are you talking about?
Hello, folks. Welcome back to Kadet Sports TV. We have Brecken Ramsey up to bat, and we even have another guest. We have Callie Maxwell with us.
How are you guys doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so we just wanted to get you on, talk a little bit about Kadet athletics and how a lot of the other sports teams have been doing this season.
Yeah, so we've had a fantastic year so far. Fall sports did fantastic. We had almost every single one of them make playoffs, which was super awesome. And then when we went into winter sports, and again, all of them made it to playoffs. Wrestling placed the highest they've placed ever as a team, 3rd. And so they had an amazing season. And girls basketball made it to the grade 8. Boys basketball made it to playoffs and lost a really tough playoff game down at Pueblo South. But it was a great season for everyone. And going into spring sports right now, we're looking super strong in most of our spring sports right now. So it's super exciting.
Yeah, and it looks like this is probably going to be the last inning because of the mercy rule. So it's 20 runs after 3 innings. DCC's up by 27. So unless the Cadets score 8 or more runs here, which is not looking like they're going to, but there's a single by Carter Anderson. So maybe there's a chance. But it looks like this game is probably going to be over after 3 innings.
Now at bat for Air Academy.
And DCC does have a new pitcher, Adam Albane. He's also a sophomore, so we're getting a lot of sophomore pitchers in here. Jacoby Rebold last inning was also a sophomore. And a pickoff does not get Anderson. So Miss Maxwell, I know you said all of the sports teams have been really good, and I know there's a lot of youth on those. So how does that look?
Yeah, so, I mean, we look at our baseball program right now. We are a super young program, which is super exciting for the future. And I mean, we're seeing our sophomore kids get reps right here, which is exciting. But all of our programs, I think we do a fantastic job, even when we're in, like, the so-called rebuilding seasons. Like, we still put emphasis and focus on, like, how are we getting better? How are we going to grow? And you have to do that, because if you're just looking at a season as a rebuild and don't ever like try and actually rebuild and put time and energy and effort into the team you have now, it's really hard to get through a season, and I think all of our coaches do a really good job with that. So
yeah, and with girls basketball, Kinley Asp is the only upperclassman. There's there were 7 sophomores on varsity. That's looking great for the next couple of years.
Absolutely, it's super exciting. And like I said, our coaches do a great job of consistently having programs that do well year in and year out. And that's really tough to do because in a high school you've got kids that are coming in and out all of the time, and from season to season it can look very different. And so it makes it tough sometimes as a coach to figure out, like, I might have to completely change my game plan this year because we have a completely new team. But I think all of our coaches do a great job with that. So.
Yeah, that's really good. So we got 2 outs now after Logan Sullivan struck out, and Landon Lawrence is getting his second at-bat of the season on varsity. Called strike 1. He struck out against Cheyenne Mountain in the second game of our series, and he just got brought up from varsity a couple games ago to play.
It's definitely great to be able to see this sophomore talent. Just a brand new player here in Landon, and as he grinds out.
And that'll be the game. So final score, DCC 28, Kadets 3 in 3 innings. And Miss Maxwell, thank you for joining us, even if it was just for this short time to talk about all the sports teams.
No, all good. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for being out here, and I know it's a little chilly, so go warm up, okay?
Yeah, we will.
Yeah, thank you.
And we will be back with our player of the game from DCC, Colt Telchik, and the DCC head coach after this commercial break.
We've been watching a lot of professional soccer recently so that we can get ready for the girls' upcoming season. It's been great, but there's been a bunch of injuries around the school recently.
Game last night. You guys are looking really good this season.
Down street.
I should be it.
Oh, my ankle! Oh! 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 I'm not gonna be able to go to school for weeks. Oh my goodness!
So young, get up. He's fine.
Welcome back to Kadet Sports TV. That was a little bit of a tough one for the Kadets there as they took the loss 28-1 versus DCC. And it was kind of hard. Just not a lot of stuff went well for the Kadets in this game.
Yeah, it seems like every other pitch we couldn't get a break, it seemed. Just DCC's lineup was fabricated to be perfect.
Yeah, I think DCC's lineup was just so deep that it was hard for the Kadets to get any rest, and they really needed that. DCC didn't have a guaranteed out in their lineup. And now we're going to head down to our sideline reporter, Ben, with Coach Ross and our player of the game, Colt Telchik.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Coach Ross and our star player of the game, Colt Telchik. First off, for you, Coach Ross, I mean, after a game like this, how are you looking to prepare your players and your students as they go forward into the rest of the season? And what does prep look like for a team after a victory like this one?
Yeah, today's a crazy day. I mean, baseball can be crazy, and that's exactly what we dealt with today. I believe Air Academy's got some really good players, and you know what I try to teach our team is that we don't play to the other team. We play baseball the way that we play baseball and the way that we value baseball. You know, good at bats and being tough outs and throwing strikes on the mound and playing great defense and communicating, and so we prepare for that every single day. It doesn't matter who we play, and tomorrow at practice we'll be right back there doing that again, and yeah, I think I'm nervous for Thursday. Again, really good players. Our field is really short and a lot easy to hit home runs. A couple of those balls those guys hit today would have been home runs at our field. So we will have to come back and play our best baseball on Thursday.
All right, thank you so much, Coach. And then for you, Cole, as a player who's committed to Missouri State, correct?
Yeah.
And a player who's played over 100 games, been team captain twice. When it comes to leading a team like this, could you tell us a little bit about the difference between leading a team when you're having a game like this and other times when you might be leading a team really as that team captain?
Well, I stress, so I'm a catcher. I stress to all my pitchers not too high, not too low, and it's all about keeping the guys kind of in their middle zone, because if they get too excited, then they start losing focus, and if we're taking a loss, then we don't want to get too down. It's all about staying kind of an even keel.
All right, thank you so much. You guys heard it here. A big part of DCC's strategy here is really playing baseball as it was meant to play, keeping consistent, and like Cole talked about, making sure when you're calling those plays as the catcher, the pitcher is, throwing in what they can throw and really making sure they're doing their job. So, back to you guys.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. I think what both of them said was really deep, and I think that was super important. I think what Coach Ross said about how DCC's field is shorter, that's going to impact Thursday a lot, because they have DCC and Air Academy are playing on Thursday again at DCC this time, and Braden Kurtz, that would have been a home run at DCC. There were a couple other guys that would have been home runs at DCC.
Yeah, it's just really interesting to hear from them, hear from Cole. He was outstanding this game, and it was just interesting to see how Coach Ross had also executed the game.
Yeah, and as a pitcher, I think that's super important what Cole said, just not to get too high when I'm striking people out, when I'm making my pitches where I want to, and not getting too low when it's not going your way and you're giving up hits and things like that. I think that's just super important to stay level, keep throwing your pitches, just keep executing.
Yeah, as we saw some struggles from Air Academy's pitchings today, it's just definitely very interesting to hear from the DCC perspective. That's how they played it out.
Yeah, so Air Academy has a pretty hard schedule coming up. They have one more game against DCC, and then they have 2 games against Lutheran in more league play. And Lutheran beat DCC and swept DCC both times they played, so that'll be a really tough matchup for Air Academy here. And then the rest of the season, they have Pine Creek, Lewis Palmer, Palmer Ridge, and then to finish out the season, Pueblo Centennial. So I think there's definitely some games in there that they can win. I think some of them are going to be some pretty tough games, but I think they can definitely go out and compete in a lot of those games.
Yeah, it'll definitely be a hard fight for Air Academy and DCC in their schedules. And for like DCC, they have these games coming up, and just using Cole and other players, it'll be good to play.
Yeah, so this is the last baseball live stream of the year we're doing. We have one more live stream, boys lacrosse, on Saturday the 25th. And so we'll see you there. And remember, as always, Kadet.